It's UFC 306 fight week. Let's make some predictions. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Joan's MMA Corner. My name is Joan. Today, we're going to be making our official UFC 306 Sean O'Malley vs Merab Dvalishvili picks and predictions video. This is a big event. It's NOCHE UFC. The last NOCHE UFC that they had last year for Mexican Independence Day was freaking fantastic and a lot of fun to watch. This card, I only expect to be nothing but bangers. Literally from the very first fight and up. September 14th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. This Saturday. Guys, don't miss out. Cancel all your plans for this Saturday. Go and watch the UFC somewhere. Go out with some friends. Dedicate this Saturday to go and watch UFC. This is a historic moment, a historic event. This is happening at the Sphere. This is a Mexican event. I know it's Sean O'Malley and he's not Mexican, neither is Merab Dvalishvili. Wrong. But the UFC is showcasing their Mexican fighters all throughout the entire card. Canelo Alvarez is also fighting that night and he's saying that he's going to be selling out more than the UFC. That may be true, but everyone who goes to pay the money to go watch Canelo's fight is going to be losing money and time, because you're gonna come out of that fight disappointed, because I already know how it's gonna go. He's gonna go in there, fight for 12 rounds, come out with $60 million, and you're just like, well, all respect to Canelo, I know he's very skilled, but if you guys want to have a great Saturday this Saturday, go and watch UFC 306. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You're gonna be a lot more entertained, and if you put it on during the party, trust me, everyone's not gonna know what's happening, but they're gonna love what they see. Without further ado, let's get into the official picks and predictions for 306. Starting off the event with an absolute banger in the 135 division, we have 19-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. making a return to the octagon against Ayori Kilang. Raul is coming off of a victory. He just submitted Ricky Trucillos. So I think Raul stepping into UFC 306, I think he's coming in a lot more prepared, hopefully. He's not as hectic as before, and also he has this confidence. I've done UFC fights already. I'm getting a taste for it. I think I'll be looking forward and be more prepared to fight in this next fight. But Ayori Kilang, this guy can fight. I think Ayori Kilang is a great test for Raul Rosas Jr. He has great striking, but he does have a lot of opening, and he has been caught before, multiple times. Who am I going for in this fight? I gotta go for Raul Rosas Jr. I have a lot of faith in this kid. He has a lot of heart and dedication to the sport, so I only hope that he finds a way to get the victory this Saturday. Moving on to the second fight of the night, Edgar Chairez versus Joshua Van in the flyweight division. Edgar Chairez is coming off of a victory, but it was an early stoppage. What is that, like a guillotine choke? He was trying to defend, but the referee thought that he went limp and stopped the fight, but the guy was like, no, I'm good, I'm ready, I'm right here, what are you guys talking about? And they stopped the fight early. So that's what he's coming off of. He was looking good in that fight. And Joshua Van, unfortunately, he got knocked out in his past fight, but he was on a 4-fight win streak before that. I'm not too familiar with either of these fighters, and I don't have really a connection with either of them. So if I'm going to go for one of them, I'm going to go for the Mexican support. I'm going Edgar Chairez. Yasmin Uruguay versus Ketlin Souza. Ooh, in the strawweight division. Yasmin Uruguay, I've been impressed by her boxing and her striking. I think she got knocked out in her most recent fight, but it was like, oh, you fucked up. She got knocked out in the first 20 seconds of her fight. So, you know, things happen in this sport. That's how the game rolls. I'm looking forward to her putting on a great performance against Ketlin Souza, the Brazilian. I'm going Yasmin Uruguay. I'm more of a fan of her. I love her striking. And she's Mexican, so I gotta support Mexican Independence Day. Fourth fight of the night, Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This is happening in the lightweight division. Manuel Torres, that fool has some power behind those hands, bro. He looks very sharp when he throws them, and strong. Boom! Manuel Torres can put the lights out on people. But in his previous fight, he got a submission. So it does go to show that he has some grappling in his arsenal. Manuel Torres is very technical, and I like the way he fights. But Ignacio, that guy got a crazy head kick in his last fight. Boom! This should be an interesting fight. I love the style matchup. I'm gonna go Manuel Torres. He has knockout power, and that's what I'm expecting from him. Going on to the fifth fight of the night, Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont in the 135 division. Irene Aldana delivered a masterclass performance in her previous fight. I think Dominic Cruz was even kicking out about it in the commentary booth. This might be one of the best fights of the year, if not I've ever seen in my life. Go watch that. Man, that was a great fight by Irene Aldana. I'm only expecting her to put on another masterclass performance. Again, another person in the Alexa Grasso camp. Great boxing, and that's exactly what I'm expecting. If Irene Aldana does what she did in her past performance, we're in for a treat. That girl can box. That's all. I'm excited. I'm excited for her box. Norma Dumont, she has a good resume, but Irene Aldana, man, that past performance speaks for itself. If you guys haven't seen that fight, you need to go watch. After this video, go and rewatch Irene Aldana versus Carol Rosa, and trust me, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Going on to the sixth fight of the night, Ronaldo Lazyboy Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne in the 125 division. Lazy Boy made his debut in his previous fight. Like, he's only had one fight in the UFC and he did a great job. Submission victory. I saw him fight, I heard him speak, I became an instant fan. I'm not trying to be biased, but the Mexicans, they have this heart, man, and you really see it when they fight and when they speak.
100% mexicano, guerrero mexicano de verdad.
When they speak to the audience after their fight, like on the microphone, man, they have some words and they have something that they're fighting for. That's why I know that there's so much potential behind the Mexican fighting class that's coming out. Oh, the Osborne, that guy's coming off of 2 losses, and his past fight was, I think, a split decision. I'm just excited to see Lazy Boy more action, man. I'm just getting familiar with him. He only has 1 fight, so more action in the UFC, I'm looking forward to it. Lazy Boy, le voy a ir a Lazy Boy Ronaldo Rodriguez. And he's 17-2. This guy's a solid fighter. 7th fight of the night. Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ritkovic. This is happening in the 155 division lightweights. If I keep repeating, looking back at their previous fight, it's because most of these fighters had a spectacular performance in their past fight. Daniel Zellhuber is one of those guys. He unlocked this ultra instinct flow mode in his past fight where he wasn't getting touched and he was picking all the shots that he wanted. Everything that he threw was entering and landing straight on the chin. He looked sharp, he looked precise, he looked accurate. He looked so well-rounded. Daniel Zellhuber, I was so impressed by his past performance. I think he was fighting this Argentinian guy, and that guy was not making it easy for him either. But Esteban Ritkovic, that guy knocked out Terrence McKinney with a head kick in his past fight. He looked very strong in that performance, and that kick that he landed, I think that his style is going to be a great matchup for Daniel Zellhuber. Get ready for a great performance in the striking department. I'm not expecting much grappling, but the striking from these guys, just get ready. It's gonna be like a kickboxing fight. That's what I'm expecting, at least. That's my prediction. If I have to choose one of these guys, I'm going Daniel Zellhuber because his performance in his past fight was fucking fantastic. 8th fight of the night, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez is finally happening. 145. These featherweights were supposed to fight once already, but then Brian Ortega had some weight complications and he had to go up to 155. And Diego Lopez said, yeah, I'll fight you at 155. But then something else happened with Brian Ortega that made him have to pull out of the fight. Completely. So the UFC got Dan Ige at the last minute, literally the same day of the fight, to come and step in against Diego Lopez. And Diego Lopez said, yeah, I'll fight you too the same day. And man, these guys put on a great fight. Diego Lopez wants to show that he's ready for anybody, anytime, any place. That he's a well-rounded fighter, and that's how fighters should be. If you're a really good fighter, you shouldn't have to wait 10 weeks to fight one guy. You should be prepared at all times because you really are the best person to fight anybody that gets put in front of you. Diego Lopez's fight against Dan Ige was very close, I'm not gonna lie. Because Dan Ige is that guy. Dan Ige can fucking fight. But Diego Lopez ended up getting that victory at the end of it. And he's been having highlight after highlight after highlight, performance after performance after performance. Diego Lopez is such a good prospect and somebody that you should have your eyes on. Diego Lopez stepped in short notice on his UFC debut. He wasn't supposed to fight, but he was like, I'll do it. He might not have won, but man, he made an impression on everybody who saw him that night. And I'm one of those people. Ever since I saw him fight that night, I've had my eye on him this entire time. Diego Lopez is that guy. But he doesn't have an easy fight for him. He's on a come up, but Brian Ortega's on a comeback. Brian Ortega had to take some time away to work on himself, you know, the mental, that spiritual, that physical. He needed to take care of himself, and that's good. A lot of people might see that as a downfall because they don't see them in the UFC, but man, the training that's going on behind the scenes, behind all the cameras and all the spotlight, it's there. Trust me, Brian Ortega has been putting in that work, and in his past fight against Yair Rodriguez, he learned, he adapted in the fight, and he came in that second round strong and took him out. Yair Rodriguez is not somebody who's easy. He was beating up Brian Ortega in that first round. But once Brian Ortega found that putting on that pressure would be the key to fighting and beating Yair Rodriguez, he got in there that second round, put that pressure in. He did that super technical step-by-step jiu-jitsu that he's a master at. Found the submission and found the victory. As I said before, come back and come up. What do I expect of this fight? Now listen, Brian Ortega has been there before. Brian Ortega has had some experience fighting some big name guys, high ranking athletes. He fought Volkanovski. He's fought Max Holloway. He's fought the guys that have been up there this entire time. Brian Ortega has tasted the title shot before. He's experienced what it means to be in the octagon against the champion at the top of your level. And Diego Lopez hasn't. But just because Diego Lopez is new to the UFC doesn't mean he's new to fighting in general. He's been fighting almost his entire life. He's one of Alexa Grasso's coaches. Both Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez have great boxing, alright? We know this. But both of these fighters have beautiful jiu-jitsu. One of Brian Ortega's biggest attributes is his jiu-jitsu. That's what he's known for. And Diego Lopez has been training jiu-jitsu his entire life too. So they're pretty even. The only thing that I'm seeing or that I'm thinking is going to be a determining factor here is the experience. Because when it comes to the striking and when it comes to the ground game and the grappling, I see them both pretty even. They both have it. They're both really, really well-rounded fighters. It's going to be about who knows what to do in this position. Who knows how to secure the victory when you're already losing. How to come close. How to get on that scoreboard. How to make that point. How to win. Both of these fighters have a lot of heart. Both of these fighters have a lot of skill. And both of these fighters have a lot of experience. But Brian Ortega has that experience in the UFC. And Diego Lopez doesn't. I really don't want to go for anybody because I'm a huge fan of both of these fighters. But if I had to pick strategically, Brian Ortega can take some hits too. Like I've seen him in some wars. Number 3 versus the number 13. If I had to go for somebody, I think, fuck man, I'm gonna go Diego Lopez because he's on the come up. All right, I'm going for Brian Ortega too because he's on the comeback and I'm a huge fan and I think that he can get it done. But Diego Lopez has been impressing me in his past fights. Against Dan Ige, it was a little close. Great fight overall, but it was a little close. He got tested. But before that, man, he's had some great fights. I'm a huge fan of Diego Lopez. I'm going Diego Lopez for this fight. That's my pick. It's final. It is what it is. Going on to the co-main event, Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. The trilogy, it's their third fight. This is happening in the 125 division. For this one, I'm not going to have a prediction. Who am I rooting for? I'm going Alexa Grasso. You know, I'm a huge fan of Alexa Grasso. I love the way she shocked the world in the first fight. The second fight was a world-class martial arts tournament style type of level of fighting right there. I saw these girls get down. It was a draw. And for this one, this third fight, honestly, I'm just going to let them do them. I'm just going to let them do them. I'm not making any predictions because this fight can go 1,000 different ways. In 1,000 different fights, it can go 1,000 different ways. Let's just put it like that. Because these girls are hand on hand. I don't know what to expect. Both of Alexa Grasso's and Valentina Shevchenko's past fights are on my list of my favorite fights. I don't have a prediction for this fight. But who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for Mexico's Alexa Grasso. We made it to the very end of the card. The main event, Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Now these guys have had some beef. Y'all remember when Merab was wearing Sean O'Malley's jacket? That was hilarious.
That's actually hilarious.
And Merab is one of Aljamain Sterling's best friends, training buddies. So this fight, we've just been waiting for it to be made. Sean O'Malley ended up knocking out Aljamain Sterling, Merab's training buddy. So now it's Merab's turn. Now let's go into their previous fights. Sean O'Malley fought Chito Vera last. That was their second fight. And the performance that Sean O'Malley put on was spectacular. His movement looked flawless. He looked very technical. He looked very sharp, very accurate, very fast. He just looked like he was prepared. He knew that what he was looking for. It was just another day for him. We all know that knee. The knee that was heard around the world. Oh! That landed so hard on Chito's face. And I think that it did it? I don't remember. I think it ended up breaking his face in some parts. Sean O'Malley is a superstar. This guy goes out there and puts up some spectacular performances, has some great knockouts. I mean, just go look at a Sean O'Malley highlight reel and you'll be so impressed. There's so many videos out there right now. This is the time to go look at a Sean O'Malley highlight reel. Or a documentary. Go watch a Sean O'Malley documentary. People still like to overlook him and underestimate him just by the way he looks. And that's not the way it works. You watch the way he fights and then you can say whatever you want. Because no matter what you say, the fights speak for themselves. This kid is that kid. Sean O'Malley ended up doing 5 rounds against Chito Vera and taking the victory. He unlocked a mode of Ultra Instinct, I'm gonna be honest. Until the very, very last second where Chito Vera hit him with a body shot and it kind of hurt. And Merab's last fight was against Henry Cejudo, a wrestling legend. And that's Merab's thing. Merab is a wrestler. Before that, I think Merab fought Piotr Jan and wrestled him for 5 rounds straight. Piotr didn't know what to do. So what am I expecting from Merab in this fight? I'm expecting him to wrestle. Because if he tries to strike against Sean O'Malley, he's gonna get knocked out. There's no way that he can compete against Sean O'Malley in the striking department. Sean O'Malley is too accurate, too precise, too fast, and too strong in the striking department. He's gonna put your lights out. So that's what I'm expecting from Merab. I'm expecting him to wrestle a lot. I'm expecting him to just hold him against the fence. I'm expecting him to hold him on the floor if he does end up catching Sean O'Malley. And that's another thing that a lot of people try to overlook and underestimate Sean O'Malley in. The grappling. Sean O'Malley is a great grappler. Just because he doesn't grapple much in the UFC doesn't mean he doesn't know how to do it or that he's bad at it. He's been on UFC Fight Pass Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, grappling tournaments. and won. He has a great jiu-jitsu coach. He just doesn't really need to use it ever because his striking speaks for itself. He's a striker, but he can grapple. And Merab does have some openings. Henry Cejudo exposed that opening in their fight. And before that, it was Marlon Moraes who exposed that opening too. That same punch. And I think Sean O'Malley knows those openings. I think he's watched his tapes. I think his striking is gonna exploit those openings and end up finding that chin or that temple. If Merab does catch Sean O'Malley, it's gonna be very frustrating for us to watch and also for Sean O'Malley because he's gonna just be on the floor wanting to get out, but Merab, because he's a great wrestler, he's just gonna be holding him there like bro, get the fuck off of me. And then we're gonna wait into the next round, and then those adjustments are going to be made and we'll see something different. What's my pick? I'm picking Sean O'Malley. Who am I going for? I'm going for Sean O'Malley. I think that Sean O'Malley is going to end up finding that knockout. He's just good, man. Sean O'Malley's freaking good. And every single fight starts on their feet. Either Merab shoots for the takedowns and ends up controlling on the floor, or he gets knocked out on their feet. These have been my official picks and predictions for UFC 306, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili at NOCHE UFC. September 14th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. This is this Saturday, guys. Clear your plans for Saturday. This is the event that you're going to want to watch with your friends. So just to go off the card on my picks, I'm going Raul Rosas Jr., I'm going Edgar Chairez, Yasmin Uruguay, Manuel Torres, Irene Aldana, Ronaldo Rodriguez, Daniel Zellhuber, Diego Lopez, Alexa Grasso, and Sean O'Malley. If you guys happen to enjoy my picks and predictions video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm very excited for this event. I'm gonna be making a reaction video, basically like a vlog of us going to watch the fights. It's gonna be a lot of fun, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Make sure to like and subscribe as I said before. And let me know what you guys think. What are you guys' predictions? Type it up in the comments below and I'll go ahead and check it all out. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys at UFC 306. Stay tuned for that reaction video and have a blessed day, y'all. See ya.